What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Off the Ball podcast with me, your host, Chris LeBron, and I have a special guest on the show today, my man, Sean Mondello, a.k.a. Mondo. Mondo, what's going on, my man?
Hey, long time no see, long time no talk. What's happening? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How are you, man?
Loving life, man. Happy to be back with you.
Yes. The fans have been. They needed more Mondo, so we got more Mondo.
Happy to hear it.
Yes. So, how'd you feel about the Super Bowl? Before we get into what we're going to talk about.
Super Bowl was fun, man. As always, it's always nice to see a competitive game and two young guys going at it like Mahomes and Garoppolo. And Mahomes is something special, man. Happy to keep going.
He's the next generation. He's like a LeBron James. He's a generational talent, and you don't really see that in football, really, like generational talents. But he's clearly in year 3. He's getting there. He's going to be special, and you definitely see him winning multiple. Hopefully, you never know. Obviously. With, injuries and, stuff happens in football, and he's about to get the bag too. So, but, there's I just can't see him not winning more championships in the future. Like, it's destined, I think.
His sky is, his ceiling is high. I mean, there's no stopping him at the moment. He's only 24 years old, so who knows?
He could play another 16 years, and the sky's the limit for him, for sure. That's for sure.
Passing
Yeah. So, obviously, we haven't talked since the unfortunate passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter and 7 others. How did you find out, and what was your initial reaction when it happened?
Oh, man. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace.
Yes.
His daughter Gianna, rest in peace, and all those other individuals that were on that helicopter.
Yes.
Condolences to their families, prayers to them. But I was initially on the way home from a vacation of mine, back to the States, and I found out in the airport. So I was a little shook hopping on a plane after finding out that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And you were on a plane too, so that's even a little more,
Yeah. It was, and flying in any circumstance is always scary for me, anyway.
Yeah.
But initial reaction was no way, I can't believe it, until I actually was on the plane and saw the actual, with the technology today we have on our aircrafts, watching television and seeing it, and I was just like distraught. I was like, wow, I can't believe this. We all grew up watching this guy. He was basically my generation's Michael Jordan for a long time, So what a sad day that was, and I still can't believe it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real at all. Like it's still like it's just so unfortunate, so sad. Like the fact that we talk about him in the past tense is surreal. Like it's just sad. Like, it still gets me, and it's been over a week, and to know that he's no longer here, and it's heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking, man.
For sure. There's no words.
No, it's you're speechless sometimes. It's
for sure.
Whenever I talk to someone about this, it's like, how do you? It's you get like you stutter. You're like, how do you explain? Like, he's not here. He's no longer here, and it's and to think like he was everything he was doing, all the good things he was doing post career, let alone what he did during his career. He was going to be even better in his post career. Winning an Oscar. He won an Oscar. I mean, he won a freaking Oscar. I say this like I always talk to I've talked about this a few times on the show and other podcasts, and I'm like, this man won an Oscar in year one of retirement.
Right.
Year one of retirement, he bam, Oscar. You know, who goes off like that after retirement? You know, we've seen athletes, and it takes them a while to get to whatever they're going to do post career, and we don't really hear about a lot of athletes post career, unless it's like Michael Jordan, who has a brand that's going to be, a generational brand that's going to be here till forever, and then owning a team, and guys like LeBron. There's very rare guys we've seen that who are going to just absolutely just be monsters the second year. But Kobe was going to be that guy too. Like Kobe was doing so many great things, and what he was doing for women's basketball also. Like just there's so many things he was doing, and it's just to lose him it doesn't feel right.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate because when you watch the NBA and you see him and his daughter courtside at games, and it makes you think like, Kobe didn't really want anything to do with the game after retirement, just to take that break, and it seemed like his daughter was just pulling him back, and it was really we were really seeing his father time and himself being that coach to his daughter, and she pulled the greatness back almost from Kobe, and we were just seeing him in really his second career of being, like you said, that kind of guy that was just did it all. And, we were seeing it firsthand. It was like, almost seeing him again is in that light is just awesome.
Yeah.
It brings back a lot of memories. So it's really tragic that we're closing the book almost on his retirement life and a new Kobe, actually,
Yeah. We just got to keep going with that mama mentality. That's how you got to keep, waking up and just have that mentality. Just keep grinding. That's how he lived. Just keep grinding and grinding and grinding. I mean, the guy. It's still so crazy because you're a little bit younger than me, but for the most part, we got to see his whole career, and especially me, I saw, this Kobe when he was 17, 18, missing jump shots against Utah, airball shots, and people thinking, oh man, he ain't gonna be nothing, he's not gonna be nothing special, he's just gonna be another hype. And then to see that progression to Afro Kobe and just dominating and winning championships with Shaq, and then having that, 81 Kobe, and then seeing, when he got Gasol and Artest and winning two more championships. So, to see the progression from 18-year-old Kobe to his final game having 61 points. We saw from the start, from beginning to end. And to see his progression, and to see it fulfilled, like we see a lot of guys in the NBA, they don't get to dictate how they end their careers. It either in like you see like Tracy McGrady, he's one of the best players in the league, but his final years, he was playing garbage minutes in the finals with the Spurs.
Right.
Kobe was Kobe for as last year, it wasn't as Kobe, but he showed that last game that it don't matter that we're losing 50 games, I'm gonna show out. And he went out the way, so it's so let's get a little bit more positive with not as sad with Kobe. What is your fondest moment? What game, what moment of Kobe's is your favorite? What's your favorite Kobe moment, pretty much?
You know what? I'm going to have to say I have a few, but the ones that stick out the most for myself are those playoff series against the Phoenix Suns when he hit those buzzer beaters to close out that series, and also the feud he had with Raja Bell. I was very drawn to Kobe in that light,
Yeah, that was right after Shaq left too, I believe. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. And the other game that really drew me in was his Christmas Day games. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
One specifically is when they actually played each other, Shaq and Kobe. I think it was
the first meeting, right? Yeah, it was the first. Yeah.
And I was glued to my seat, and there's so many. I mean, I could say the 81-point game, the 60-point performance of his last one, but that whole series against that Suns team where the Lakers were actually, people were questioning the Lakers, and Kobe was just, ice in his veins and just said, you know what, this is what I do. I'm not going to have this team come in here and upset us. And, that drew me to him more and more. And he just was clutch. And I was just starting to really enjoy basketball. So that's something that, drew me in even more to my personal growth as a basketball player. And the Miami and LA matchup was basically just for fun and the whole rivalry that was just born because of the big trade that happened, and stuff like that. That was great. That was great for basketball, But those two are big standouts for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's endless. we could probably
really
go. You could probably go hours about the Kobe moments because he literally had so many big time shots he's made. I can remember the shot he against Portland to win the division, and he just they couldn't believe he made this three-pointer and he switched it. It was a tremendous shot to win the division. There's just so many. I mean, all the times he played against the Knicks, he could do that. But the one we had, I think he had 62 with 60 against the Knicks at the Garden. Yeah, I mean, no, obviously the 81 versus Toronto, that was special because they were losing, and he took them back, put them on his back. There's so many Kobe moments. This is endless moments, but obviously it's sad that he's gone, but we have to keep living on the Mamba mentality and just keep on going and appreciate each day that we're here because it's not guaranteed, man. I think that's the biggest thing that's the biggest thing that I take away from that. I mean, we thought Kobe was, you wouldn't put death and Kobe together. That wasn't two words you put together. You would never think, oh man, this guy died, and you wouldn't think, oh, it's Kobe. No, it can't be Kobe. You wouldn't think Kobe. You don't put that together. And to think, and for him to pass away, I think it woke up everyone. Like, yo, if he could be gone, that's why you have to appreciate each day and take, just live each day and just appreciate the people you have with you and hug and kiss your wife or your kids and just appreciate each day,
Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't agree more.
Yeah. But rest in peace Kobe, rest in peace Gigi, rest in peace to the 7 others that lost their lives in the tragic helicopter crash. We'll always keep you in our prayers. But let's get into some NBA talk, man. Let's get into some the All-Star teams were announced and a lot of first timers. Was there anyone that you think should have made it that got snubbed? I know I have one, and I think we might have the same person. So you go.
I'm gonna name all 3 that I think should have been in.
Shoot.
2 are from the West. I'm gonna go. Obviously, this man, he's been injured for quite a minute or so, but he was on a tear early on, and that's Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
I think Cat definitely deserved some kind of a nod, considering his position, almost.
Yeah, the big name. But who do you take out? So finish with the other 2, and then if you can, who would you take out then? Because it's always easy to say, oh, this guy should have made it, but who are you going to take out? Because for the most part, I think the West, there's a few guys maybe, but I think they kind of got it right. But go with the other two.
I think they kind of got it right also, but off the top of my head, I don't think, and don't jump on me hard for this one, but I don't think Russell Westbrook is deserving this year.
You know what? I might agree with you with that. I might agree. But you look at his stats, if we're just going to go based off pure stats, he's averaging 26, 7, and 8. Now, obviously, he's not triple-double, but obviously he's playing with James Harden, so we all knew that wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to have triple-double numbers. So I agree. I could probably agree that he shouldn't have been an all-star, but it's hard to say that he's not because he's putting up all-star numbers. Those are clearly all-star numbers. And his team Absolutely. Is playing, is in the playoff race. So would you replace Cat with him, or who's your other two guys, West guys, or do you have one more West guy?
I have one more West guy and another one from the East.
I think the East guy, we got the same.
The East, I have obviously Bradley Beal.
Yeah. That's exactly who I thought too. Bradley Beal should be an all-star. I don't care about the record. He's averaging 28 points a game. He's an all-star.
He's got to get the nod there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but and you know what? And it's easy to me who I'd replace him with, and it's Kyle Lowry. I mean, the Raptors have a starter in Siakam there. You don't need two from the Raptors.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. I could see why they put him in, but
sure.
To me, the All-Star game is for the players. You're an All-Star. It's for the player. So, how are we gonna, Bradley Beal is doing his thing. It's not his fault that he doesn't have, all-star players. Obviously, John Wall's not playing. That right. Roster is not. That's not a good team. It's not his fault that their team's not good. Kyle Lowry is playing with a bunch of, he's playing with, Gasol was a perennial all-star for years. A defensive player of the year. Ibaka's a good player. Fred
right.
VanVleet's a good player. Siakam is an all-star starter. So he's playing with other good players, So
right.
I always find it weird sometimes with all-star, especially when they do the reserves. How do you reward? What are you rewarding? I mean, because like we said, Beal's averaging 28 a game. How is he not an all-star? If he was averaging 24, I could be like, all right. But he's not putting up crazy now. He's averaging 28.
Absolutely
That's awesome.
Right.
You're an all-star.
And something too, like they're only 3 games out of the 8th spot.
Yeah. Oh, they go on a little run,
That's something too. The kid's got a chip on his shoulder and they're there. Like they're there.
Yeah. He's the 5th leading scorer in the NBA. The 5th leading scorer in the NBA is not an all-star.
Insane.
That doesn't make sense.
No.
And I've heard people say, well, he's shooting a low 3-point percentage, his field goal percentage is a low. I was like, yeah, because look who's on his team.
Yeah.
Look who's on his team. I'm sure if John Wall was there healthy, he'd be shooting a better percentage. Maybe his points, his PBGs would be down. But how is the guy who's 5th in the league in scoring not an all-star? He's 3rd in the East in scoring. How is he not I thought he should have been a starter almost.
Yeah, correct.
He could have. Him and Jimmy Butler. I thought one of them were gonna be the starter. But somehow they have Jimmy Butler as a forward, but that's a whole other thing.
Right.
I didn't get. I'm like, Bradley Beal to make the All-Star team? That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So you would take Larry out. I agree. I would take Larry out. I would definitely take Larry out.
I think when I found out the news, I think I immediately tweeted out, Kyle Lowry is not an all-star, and I put a period next to it.
No, I agree. There's a
was
lot of times Kyle Lowry should not have been an All-Star. There's no disrespect to Kyle Lowry, but he's made 6 straight All-Star teams, and I'm like, no. There's no way Kyle Lowry has been in 6. I couldn't believe, like, he's made the All-Star team 6 straight years? That's no. No, he's a good, don't get me wrong, he's a good player. Good player. He did some, he won a championship. But then there's people saying that he's a Hall of Famer. I'm like, what? No. There's no. He's a very good player. He can go to Toronto's Hall of Fame. He's gonna be a Raptor Hall of Famer. In their ring, whatever they do. If I don't know if they have any retired. I don't think they have any players retired. Maybe VC. No, we're sure if VC retires, he'll be a Hall. But I don't know how they do with that. But he could be a retired Raptor, but a Hall of Famer. That's kind of it's a reach. And it shows you that making All-Star teams matters. That's why these guys take it serious, because not just that they'll get more money, but to be a 6-time. I think we've had this conversation before. I always look at Mike Conley Jr. He's never made it, and he's probably not because he's in the West and he's obviously older player. And, I think he's in year, 14. So, his chances of probably making an All-Star team, for the rest of his career, it's probably not going to happen. And it's unfortunate because he's been an All-Star player.
Yeah, correct.
He's just, when you're in the West, you have to be, averaging a triple-double or Steph, averaging 30. Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard. I mean, Damian Lillard probably should be more, an 8-time All-Star, but he didn't make All-Star teams because, these guys. Same thing with Chris Paul. Chris Paul should have been an All-Star probably every single year almost. And it's, but when you're in with Steph Curry and all these guys, that's going to be hard. And understandably, 100%. But I always said, Conley doesn't get the love he gets because he's in the West, and I'm sure if we switch him with Kyle Lowry, he's probably a 4 or 5-time All-Star, and he's just as good. I mean, if not better. And he had to go through the West all those years. We know how tough the West is. It's the dog. It's a dog fight. But
you could also add, being a Western Conference player, the struggles of being a Western Conference player with Devin Booker.
Yeah, he has to say he has an argument too. He has a big. I mean, he's 8th in the league in scoring at 27 a game. But obviously they're looking at. From what obviously it's kind of obvious, they're looking at winning. But Devin Booker is shooting 51% for a perimeter player. For a perimeter player to shoot 51%, it's kind of, you don't see that really.
No, you
perimeter
don't.
Players like him,
lights out.
Yeah. You would think he was like in the 45, 46 because, he's a perimeter player. He takes more jump shots. But he's averaging 51%. When I saw that, I was like, oh, my God. I didn't know that. I didn't even think. I thought it was going to be around 45, 46, and he's 51. He has a higher percentage than Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis is more of a, in the post.
Yeah.
But he has a gripe too. But I also don't think Trae Young should have been a starter. How do you feel about Trae Young being a starter? He's an all-star. He's an all-star, not a starter.
I agree.
I thought Jimmy Butler should have took his spot, but somehow they have him as a forward. I know he plays some 3, but we think Jimmy Butler is a 2, I've been thinking another thing. Just don't even have positions. Who's the 5 best? Who gets the 5 most votes? Let's do that. At this point,
Yeah. I mean, the NBA has some kind of issue with their All-Star votes and fan votes, and I got to be honest, something's got to get rectified with their All-Star weekend initiation.
Yeah. How do you feel about the All-Star game format, the new format they came out with?
With the whole team captains and everything like that, you mean?
And I know they changed up the scoring and all that.
Yes. Honestly, it takes a little bit away from the game.
I think so too. I wasn't too crazy about it.
Just the whole. I like East-West going at each other, like the old times.
Yeah.
You know, if you made it from the West, you're on the West. If you made it from the East, you're on the East.
Because now it's the captain's pick, and I think they started that last year, right, or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I believe.
And they're gonna make a draft out of it. Yeah. I kind of like because it also because they do a draft, and just imagine like I think Bradley Beal was the last pick last year. So like you look at the guys this year, most likely like Bam, and Sabonis are probably going to be the last two picks. Yeah, those are probably going to be the last two picks, most likely. Those are going to be the last two picks, right. And then that's kind of like an ego, like or Chris Middleton too. Like one of those three guys are going to be the last pick, and it's kind of like getting picked last, even though you're an all-star, but still to get picked last, I mean, that's still like a damn. I got picked last, like. They don't even care. They're like, oh, it's. I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, I like traditional. It's the best of the West and the best and the beast in the East. That's how, and that's it. We go at it. That's why we, yeah.
Right.
But I don't understand all these. I feel like they try to tinker it too much. All-Star. Yeah. I know they try to change it up and try to fix it up, but it's like. Yeah, you don't have to do all that. And then with the whole scoring thing now where they reset, it's kind of weird how they did the reset. And then first one to 24. I mean, there's other ways you can there's other ways you can honor Kobe than just have first one to 24 after the fourth quarter wins.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah,
They're just trying to. I don't know what they're doing in the NBA offices there for the weekend, but someone's either brainstorming too much and being too analytical. Just make it the way it's supposed to be.
Just make it It's a basketball game. It's an expedition.
Yeah, that's it.
I think people get too riled up like, oh, the All-Star game needs to be better. It's an All-Star game. Yeah. I'm not watching the All-Star game to see a defensive struggle.
No.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's an expedition. I want to see Chris Paul lob it up to LeBron James. I want to see LeBron James going against Kawhi. I want to see matchups. You look for matchups. Especially when Kevin Durant was there. You want to see Kevin Durant versus LeBron. You want to see these matchups. Yeah. Giannis versus LeBron. Right. James Harden going against Ben Simmons or some young man like Jason Tatum trying to get revenge. LeBron trying to get on Jason Tatum. These matchups, You're not looking for a competitive. I'm like, why do people complain so much about the All-Star game? I just never understood that.
Same. It's for entertainment purposes, and it should be
exactly. It's just an expedition. It's an expedition. You want to see the best of the best, do the best thing, see them dunk, see them make nice passes, shoot some threes. Who cares if they don't play defense? Why do we care? Because then when they get hurt, then we're going to be like, oh, why are they playing? So when someone gets seriously hurt, and I hope it doesn't happen, but if LeBron James goes down and tears his Achilles, then are we going to? Then what is going to? Exactly what's going to happen on talk radio and everything. Why are they playing so hard? It's an all-star game. Oh, but you complained. You complained that people. You complained that they don't play defense, and then when they do, and the face of the league tears his Achilles and can't play to win a championship, what matters more? LeBron missing, LeBron not going hard on an All-Star game, or LeBron out for the playoffs.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's just that simple. And I don't get why this. I've never complained about, you know, lack of defense. You know, it's just who cares? It's an All-Star game. You're gonna get over it right after the game's over anyway. It doesn't affect any team.
No.
You know,
No.
winning the All-Star game, nobody cares. If, you know, it's an exhibition. Simple. But you know, it's also with the. How do you feel about the tournament idea, the mid-season tournament? Was that one of the most craziest? Maybe you may think different. I think it's absolutely absurd to think you want to do a mid-season tournament. No other profession I know does that. No other sports league does that. I can't think of any, unless there's a league out there that I don't know about that does a mid-season tournament. Baseball don't do that. Hockey don't do that.
I think
football don't do that.
I think what they're trying to do with the NBA is they're trying to make the NBA the best reality TV show in America. And
but you already go.
I think they're trying to keep it so like revolving door with everything on the line and so much at stake and all the stories. It's just like, think about how we started this thing, you know, and built it up, like from ground to buildings, you know, like that kind of analogy. Ground up almost. That's what we're missing in the league. We're missing guys that actually play every day, play defense, get after it. Like it I don't know what it's missing. But definitely not missing a mid-season tournament.
No, that's definitely that's definitely not something. That's definitely not something I would care for, because it's not going to make me care more about the games. But I don't think the players would want to do that. That's kind of ridiculous.
No.
And I think the compensation was like $1 million. Do you really think LeBron James would care? This guy has all the money in the world. He has generational wealth. You think he cares about, man, let's go hard, man, and let's get this extra $1 million. No, and probably most guys won't care unless you're like a guy on a two-way deal or right. You know, a guy who's been battling to try to get to the league. But even then, like, right. You know, a mid-season tournament, no.
No, you know, the only people that are going to care are going to be the general managers when Adam Silver says, yeah, there's going to be a couple of first-round picks attached to your organization when you win the tournament. And then all they have is assets now to go trade for people, you know? And first-round picks at the bottom of the standings are usually big-time assets when you don't win the draft lottery, you know?
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen with that, but I don't think it's a very good idea. Just I don't know. If teams at the bottom of the standings aren't up to par, it's up to the GM and the organization to get them out of that rut and try and form a competitive team. You know, like, don't make it easier now with the back end tournament where they can.
Yeah, because they want I think it was a play-in tournament with the 6 through 10 seeds. So what if the 6th seed, especially in the West, the 6th seed could be a 50-win team, and the 10th seed has 36 wins, and I believe it's a one game playoff. And, you know, anything could happen in one game. I've seen the Knicks beat, you know, they beaten some good teams, and then they have one of the worst records in the league. Anything can happen.
Right.
So you just have a bad night, or you got an injury, and you're out of the playoffs, and I got 50-something wins. I could be wrong. It may not be. I don't know if it's a series, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be a series. Why would you have a series and then go into another series? That's just not fair. So I'm assuming it's a one-game thing. And then they want reseeding for the semifinals. So let's say it's the Lakers against the Clippers, and then it's the Knicks versus Brooklyn. They would reseed. Let's say the Knicks were the 1 and the Nets were the 3, and it's 1-2. They would reseed that. So they would make it. So now you got to go from the conference finals. You got to go from L.A. to New York. You know,
man,
and then do it again if you win that series, and then do the travel again. Does that make sense?
Insane. No.
It's the Eastern Conference playoffs. It's the Western Conference playoffs. Whoever makes it in the East plays whoever makes it in the West.
Sounds
That's
like
simple, right? It's been like that for. It's been like that since for how long? Since before we were alive.
Yeah.
So why mess with that? That's never been the issue. If they have such a problem with player like health, just make less games then. You know, just make less games. It's that simple. Put it to what 6? I don't know what obviously, I don't know if owners are going to be up to it though, because that's less money in their pockets, and that's less money for the players too. Because you think about it, less home games, less money generated. It's less money in your pockets. That's less,
Totally.
I don't know. All these moves, I just feel like it's just unnecessary. I think the game is fine. I mean, there's obviously things you could tinker with, but their proposals are kind of ridiculous.
Absolutely. Listen, I totally agree. I think there's way too many computer data guys in the NBA offices, and they just are bored with their time and just keep searching and getting more results from their searches, and they're trying to reinvent the wheel. And you know what? A lot of people just like traditional way of NBA basketball, and just keep it that way.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, those proposals were just ridiculous. I just don't, I'm all for trying to make the game better and all this, but when I saw those proposals, I'm like, come on, you guys could do better than that. That's not the way to make the game better and to where have these guys healthier. Just if there's anything, then you have to shorten the season. That's just plain and simple. It's the only way you can make, and then it makes more games mean more. If the players and the owners are willing to give up some money, but they get there's going to be more competitive games, then that's going to be the proposal for them. But these tournaments and it's ridiculous. That's just this isn't high school. This isn't high school. This is the pros. Nobody wants to play a tournament in mid-season. The only tournament people care about is the tournament to try to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. It's the only tournament anyone cares about, and that's a grueling process as is. It's not easy to win a championship. You have to win 4 7-game series. To win a champion. I mean, look at the Warriors. I mean, you've seen it's grueling. I know they'd probably rather be in the playoff mix, but to have some time to rest, that's they probably it's kind of bittersweet. It's we obviously
definitely gotta have
but some even LeBron last year he went through what? Yep. How many straight championships? For him to actually be have some time to be like, all right, obviously it sucks not competing for a championship, but damn, it feels good to get a little bit of rest, especially going into year 17.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. Definitely. But we'll see. I don't think these have legs at all. I don't think any of this. I think they're gonna get laughed at, if not already, with these experiments, with all these things. But we'll see what happens with all this. These crazy proposals that they have going on. But obviously, we have the trade deadline come. What is it? I think it's Thursday, the trade deadline, right? I could be wrong.
Thursday, yes.
Yes, it is Thursday. But a lot of chatter. There's a lot of chatter going on with some big names, some real, we're talking about all-star level type players. Do you What trade are you most in? What trade are you looking at right now that you think can happen with a big time player?
From everything today coming out, a lot of D'Angelo Russell talk today.
Yeah. especially with the Knicks in Minnesota.
Knicks, Minnesota interest. Yes. Also, I think everyone's forgotten about Clint Capella. His name has been thrown out there.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, I think so also. I think the Rockets just are, Daryl Morey's very itchy to always do something. And it might necessarily not be the right move, but he just likes making deals. He's that guy that just likes to be involved. I think the Lakers and Clippers are possible teams that need a piece, even though they are very highly contending teams that are going to be there when the time matters. But I think they're itchy to do something also, just to satisfy their need of a bench guy that just gets them over the hump and not worry about the latter part of the year.
I think the Lakers could use like a backup point guard, come off the bench, give them like maybe a scoring combo guard, maybe like a Derrick Rose, maybe that could be a good fit. Because Rondo's not a good fit with them. I don't even know why he's still on the team, to be honest. That's not working out.
Yeah. I like Derrick Rose on the Lakers. I do. I just don't see how it gets done on the Pistons side, because they want a first-round pick for him.
Yeah, they want a lottery pick from what I'm hearing, too.
Yeah, they want a
obviously, the Lakers don't have that.
No, they don't. I also think it's going to take. It might take a couple of players too to get Rose, honestly. And
they're not going to get it for nothing. They're not going to get it for nothing. They got to give away an important player.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? I don't know how they acquire the Lakers. I really don't. Clippers, I think, are going to be an interesting team because I think they need another big in the paint to compete against the Lakers if it came down to the Western Conference Finals. I think JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard are just a three-headed monster for the Clippers.
Yeah, that's what the Lakers.
Great, but
that's not enough.
No, it's not.
No, because Montrezl Harrell going against those four, and then to possibly get DeMarcus Cousins back too at the end, for a playoff run too.
Exactly.
That's 4 7-footers right there. So the Clippers, especially that they're behind the Lakers, and they probably won't catch up to the Lakers. But they're going to need some size. So yeah, they can definitely they're definitely going to need a big.
Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. And one name that comes to mind, he's not very dominant, but he's good when he's on a contending team, and that's Cavaliers. Tristan Thompson. I think he's.
I was thinking about this. That would be a solid move. I mean, I don't know what it would cost him. I don't know if it's a first rounder, but he has been playing good this year. He has been playing good. He's kind of been rejuvenated, but I don't know what it would cost him. That seems something to say. But that would be a good pickup for them because they could use the size. Because right now, going against the Lakers, they're going to need that size. Because the Lakers, they have, Dwight, JaVale, Anthony Davis. I mean, that's a lot of. It's going to be hard to get to the hole against those guys because they're all shot blockers and tremendous defenders. Even Dwight, being long in the tooth, but Dwight can still protect the rim. So, but yeah, the Clippers gonna have to find a way because, their injuries are kind of worrisome a little bit now, especially that it's the big name guys, with Paul George with the shoulder and obviously Kawhi with his, I think it's still the quad issue, but that's kind of worrisome. But yeah, I could see them getting a Tristan Thompson, but we'll see what they would have to give up. Obviously, I don't know about the draft. I got to look at the draft picks, but they gave up a lot of draft picks to get Paul George, so that might be a tough deal to do because they don't have a lot of draft compensation right now. So they might have
That's
to
true.
go for a lesser big. You know, they might have to go really cheap and get like they go after like a Joakim Noah or something. You know, someone who's going to cost you pretty much nothing. And I know Joakim Noah is not. You know, he's that's not a sexy name in 2020, but that might, you know, at this point, you know, that might be as good as you get.
Very true, and you know, they might be a team just, you know, skip the trades. It might just be a buyout candidate team.
Yeah, also buyout season too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
look at the buyout market. Yeah, I think that's most likely they're oh my God. We have breaking news. I think we have breaking news. Oh, we're going to break some news right now. Woj just tweeted out that, I could be wrong. Okay, no. Nothing yet. No, I thought I saw something. False alarm. Thought I saw something.
Okay. Wow.
Thought I saw something. But, thought I saw something with D'Angelo Russell. But it looks like things are heating up, though. And also with Clint Capella. Clint Capella to Boston is growing legs. And D'Angelo, I think we might see a trade soon. The way I'm seeing it, it looks like something's going to happen.
Well, D'Angelo just got ruled out for the game tonight.
I was just going to say that. It just coincidentally, he just got ruled out with a quad.
Yeah.
Now, is it coincidence or does that have legs? I think something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think something's going to happen.
When that happens, yeah.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think he just happened to be injured.
No, usually doesn't happen. But what do you think about Capella to the Celtics, though?
Capella to the Celtics, that's a good move. That's a good move for Boston. It's a very good move for Boston. It'll make them. It could them right there with Milwaukee. I think they would be the number 2 team in the East.
You know, it kills me to say, but I think that's the jump for them. I think it's a big that can protect the rim, pick and roll with Kemba to the basket, and you know, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are playing really good basketball right now.
Mhm. Yeah, because that's when you're going against Giannis. And what do you need most? You need a guy who's going to protect the paint.
Totally agree. And that's the only way you're going to be there is with long, athletic, wiry guys and guys that can contain them. Yeah.
I think Boston's going to make a move because they're a player away from being an Eastern Conference championship team. You know, and then once you get there, and you know, well, against Milwaukee, you know, Milwaukee's shown, you know, like last year that you know you could beat them if you could clog the paint and don't let Giannis get to the hole easy, you can beat them. So I can see that deal getting done. Now I don't know. It's probably going to cost them some young pieces, but you know what? As long as it doesn't cost you Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you know, I think you'll be fine. You know, and Kemba, they have a good nucleus there. They add Clint Capella to that. Man, that's I like that. They should definitely, you know, knowing Danny Ainge and the moves he makes, that wouldn't shock me that he'll be a Boston Celtic by the trade deadline.
Scary team.
So, what do you think D'Lo gets? You think D'Lo's gone for sure?
I think the Warriors are gonna ask for a haul of something. They're gonna want something as of picks. They're gonna want some players of youth, I think. But I think they end up moving them. I really do.
Yeah, from what I've heard, also with D'Angelo and the Knicks is that the Knicks offered, I believe, Knox, Ntilikina, and and some I think one more player, and a couple second round picks if I remember. And
Okay.
but the Warriors want Mitch, and I don't know how I feel about that. I would, if I think he's kind of an untouchable unless it's a crazy trade where you get like a Karl Anthony Towns. But I don't know how I feel about giving away Mitch in a D'Lo trade. I don't know. That would be an interesting, but I don't know if I would do it. If it's Frank and you want Kevin Knox, I mean, you can have those guys. I mean, certain Knicks fans that are obsessed with Frank Ntilikina and like think he's going to be the next Gary Payton, and it's like it's not happening.
I can relate with that with a player on the Nets now too.
Yeah, but it's sometimes you just got to give up on these guys. I mean, I don't like giving up on young guys, but I never saw it with Frank. I never saw Frank being a dynamic defensive player, and his defense is good. Don't get me wrong; he's a good defender, but he's not. I don't see him being at this point an all NBA guy. He could be, he could be a good defender off the bench, but I think that's his ceiling. I mean, I think this is as good as he gets. He could get a little bit better, but he hasn't shown his aggressiveness, and he's on a team where you can do whatever the hell you want. There's no guy taking over, we don't have we got guys, Marcus Morris taking over, and, now they want to give him a 4-year deal off season, I'm like, don't do that. That's such a Knicks move to do. They would give a 30-year-old a 4-year deal. That's a role player. I love Marcus Morris, but he's a role player. He's not your leading scorer.
No, he's a guy on a championship roster that knocks down shots.
He's a glue piece. Yeah, he gives you solid defense. Can hit a jump shot. Can hit the three. Can give you good minutes down the stretch and be he's hit some big shots. That's who he is. He's not your number one. No. He's allowed to do that because it's the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the Knicks are going to do at the deadline. But your beloved Brooklyn Nets. What do you think they do at the deadline? Obviously Kyrie's out. Luckily because that knee injury looked. I just saw it right now. They had it. It looked bad initially. Luckily, it's just a sprain. But how do they go about the trade deadline? Because obviously, like we said before, the Nets are looking towards next season. So how do you build? Yeah. How do you go about the deadline? How would you go about
it? Before I answer this question, I'm gonna say this too. Speaking on a D'Angelo Russell fan that you're talking to from last year, I think you're going to have to – if you're going to have him, I think he's the next franchise point guard that you've been looking for quite some time. And I think Mitchell Robinson isn't that elite in his future. So I think you would have to suck that one up and make that deal, honestly. If they're asking for Mitch, you can throw him in there, but you have to take away some draft compensation.
Yeah, sometimes you have to make moves like this. If you want to try to make that right direction. I mean, listen, you guys did that last year, and you traded for got D'Angelo. Was it last year? 2 years ago, you got D'Angelo, and look how it worked. It worked out perfectly.
I missed
it. It eventually, got you Kevin Durant and stuff. Not to say he got, but his good play, D'Angelo's good play, and helping you guys get to the playoffs and create that culture. allowed you to get to where you are now and to be, a go-to franchise for free agents,
Exactly.
So that one piece.
But to answer your question now on my Nets trade deadline talk, with everything going on and the talks that are swirling and everything like that, it seems like there's high interest in Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Karis LeVert. Somehow, I don't know what they see in Karis LeVert, but anyway, I think they need a athletic stretch four that can score and take and can guard somebody. They need defense on the perimeter, and I think they need another wing defender. It's like a 3-and-D guy that can come in off the bench.
And
a veteran role player.
Well, we talked about this earlier, and you talked about Aaron Gordon. And
yeah, his name is flying around too.
I've heard his name in trade rumors too. What do you would that be a good addition?
I think Aaron Gordon is a very solid player. I really do. I just don't know if he's worth giving up Spencer Dinwiddie right now because of Kyrie.
I agree. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's tough to say because, if when healthy, if you add Kyrie, you add Kevin Durant in the mix, you have Jared Allen, and you stick in Aaron Gordon in there with Joe Harris. I mean, man, that's a fun team. However, I can't really let Spencer go right now. I don't think it would have to be like a deal that you can't say no to. It's got to be something more than Aaron Gordon. Excuse me.
There's not a lot of. I've heard Lauri Markkanen too, on the market too, and that's I think a guy like that would be a better fit for you guys because he can shoot. I don't know if Aaron Gordon would be a good fit, especially going into next year, because I think, like I said, we have to think about next year when KD's here. And I don't know if Aaron Gordon would fit in that. I think a Lauri Markkanen would be good because he could shoot. And I think you need as much of those guys with Kevin Durant there and Kyrie. The way especially Kyrie likes to get to the hole. But
of course.
I haven't been. I'm not a crazy Aaron Gordon fan. I think I think he is what he is. I think he's like a poor man's Blake Griffin. He hasn't really lived up to that super potential that we thought he was going to be. He's a good player. But he is what he is at this point. I don't think he's going to get better. But Spencer, obviously, he was a guy who was a borderline all-star too. He had a case too to be an all-star. I think if you guys maybe had a little bit better record, he might have maybe got that last spot or so. Because he especially when Kyrie's out, he's balled out. Yeah. He's been But do you? Go.
I honestly think the Nets need to realize that all those young players that they have on their bench, the Rodies, Kurucs, Jansa Musa, guys that just have this high ceiling that they think. I think they have to attach. Not attach. They have to let go a little bit of where they drafted them and start to realize, like, hey, listen, we got to try and package these guys to get some of these journeyman players that fill a role instead of just developing. Because the Nets aren't developing anymore, I have to say.
Yeah.
You are with some guys, but some guys, you just have to be like, you know what, we're not ready for this right now, and it's time to move on. And you gotta open your door and open your head to other things and other ideas. That Kenny and Sean obviously know what they're doing. I trust them. I have to. Look what they brought in.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously got to trust about those guys. They've come through so far.
Absolutely. And you know what? You got to look around the league and see what fits your system. And if it's a good price, you got to make the deal. There's a lot of guys out there in the league that are on teams that aren't really contending, and there's one guy out there that I think can make a pretty good difference if they're looking for scoring and defense on the. I mean, not outstanding defense, but you know, I look at a guy like DeMar DeRozan on the Spurs.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think he's an expiring contract too.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know what the price is on some of these guys, but you know, they really got to do their homework and see what fits and take a chance, because the Kevin Durant's coming.
Yeah.
The right pieces involved.
I think it's tough for them right now because Kevin Durant's not playing, so it's kind of hard to see where guys fit, especially because that's the one thing that you have to. It's hard to evaluate your team because you don't have him playing. Obviously, if he was playing, you could see, all right, well, okay, we're gonna need another two. We need a better two, or we're gonna need a three off the bench. So it's it's hard for them right now to evaluate, especially for the rest of the season, because you do want to make the playoffs. I know that they want to make the playoffs, but how do you? But like we said before, and we say time and time, it's about next season when 7 comes, and that's how you have to build the team. So they're probably the one team that has the toughest job to do at the deadline, because they have to figure out, do we just wait for the off season and then see how Kevin is, and then maybe we could see a little bit better with him, because I think they have a tough decision, and also I think with the off season, I think that gives them more time to look at other guys who probably we're gonna have a better chance of getting at, because there's gonna be big names. I don't know if we're gonna see big names get traded at the deadline right now. It may happen, but I don't know what huge names. We might see guys like Derrick Rose get traded and stuff. Clint Capella, we talked about. D'Angelo Russell. Those guys are probably going to get dealt. But we're not going to see the guys that we've been hearing about. Karl Anthony Towns and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. Those big all-star type names. That probably won't happen till the off season, where you could see. Have a better look at how to build your team. So that's a kind of been they might make some small moves, but why make small moves when this year? It is what it is. You're gonna be the 8th seed probably. You're gonna play Milwaukee. You might have some exciting games, but most likely you're not gonna beat Milwaukee at you're not at full strength. Not full strength, so you're not gonna beat Milwaukee. But you have to look. It's about next season, and that's I think the off season will give you a better chance to see, all right, who's available and stuff. Maybe, so the Nets are in a tough shot. But if I'm the Nets, I stay put. I wouldn't make any drastic moves because it's hard to evaluate without KD. I wouldn't make any drastic moves until the off season, and you make sure Kevin KD's all right. Okay, now we can see. All right, KD's here, Kyrie's here. Do we go big? Do we just go straight? Let's win this mother. Let's win this mother now. Forget. We can hold on to assets, and I think one of the big most overrated things is hold on to assets.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool. It sounds good, but eventually you have to hit on those assets and make them, like Boston. Like, obviously the trade they made with you guys years ago was good, but eventually we keep hearing about these assets, and it's like, okay, when are you going to hit on the assets? When are you going to make that deal? And, eventually, they got Kemba, but they made the trade for Kyrie and stuff. That didn't work. But, they got Kemba, and let's see, Jason Tatum is an all-star. They hit.
Yeah.
But that was a long process for them with all those assets,
Yeah.
They thought they would get the number one pick a few years, and it doesn't work. So assets can also, be a liability. So you don't have to hold on to every asset. If the trade is right, if you have the assets to get Cat or get Beal, and if you think this guy is going to take us from being in the Eastern Conference Finals to no, this guy's going to take us to the promised land, then you do it. Who cares about draft picks? Especially when KD and Kyrie, you probably have them for 2-3 years. So you take advantage. You already lost KD for a whole year. Year one's is done. Year one's over. So now you're already in year two. It's KD's about winning. Kyrie's about winning. So
yeah, totally.
We've talked about this before. Maybe they just go big. You just go big.
Yeah, and the key word is patience on the big moves, which I can't seem to grasp really as a fan. But it's understandable to be patient. But to add 2 more names to the small moves that are around the league too, not just the Nets, but I think could be very good assets. So then I'll use that word again to the Nets roster is Atlanta Hawks, John Collins, and Minnesota Timberwolves Robert Covington.
Robert Covington is
one of those 2 guys. I would be very content.
I think
Kenny Atkinson and Sean Marks have very good relationships with both those teams in the past, so something to watch too.
Robert Covington would be a good fit more than John Collins. Obviously, John Collins is a good young player, but I think I don't know. I know Atlanta's. I've heard him in trade rumors. But I don't know why Atlanta would get rid of him because he's good. He's a good player. He's really good. He just had a 20-rebound game a couple games ago. And I know he had the suspension, but he's a baller.
I say John Collins because I've read a few articles in my day about Sean Marks and his draft philosophies and stuff like that. And we were going to draft John Collins if he fell to number 22 that year that we drafted.
Yeah, he's a steal.
So there's something to keep in mind. And I say John Collins, just like Aaron Gordon, the Nets lack an athlete at that position that could take the ball from a fast break, take 2 dribbles, and just finish at the cup. They don't have that as a other than probably Kevin Durant at his size.
Kevin Durant's the only guy that can do that.
And Covington, he's got the 3-point shot. He can play defense. He's a solid guy. He can play, and you know what? You got to try something because whatever you have there on the bench, it's not working, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, the bench has been a disappointment. Definitely for the Mets. It's not. You got to upgrade the bench.
Big time.
But
that's all we're looking for as fans,
Yeah. Yeah, but you could use another wing. Even with Kevin Durant, right now you could use a wing, but definitely when Kevin's back, you need another wing come off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's going to be tough for them to see what they're going to do. But Robert Covington would be a good fit for them, especially for next season. Like we said, they could just be like, you know what, they got something in the bag, and they working on, for this all season and just going big. And there's gonna be a lot of teams that are going to have to currently town because he's obviously unhappy in Minnesota, and they might just blow up the whole damn thing there. Not just him, Wiggins too. Wiggins is, if I were gonna want out, they've kind of messed things up over there in Minnesota. They've had talent. They've had some teams where you thought they should have been better, and they really messed things up over there. A lot of dysfunction over there. But Bradley Beal is another name that could get dealt. Big name. That could be a good fit with you guys too. That's a fit. And
if they got either one of those guys, I think I'd be at double-digit net games. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if we had a big three of Kyrie, KD, or adding Cat or Beal to that. That would be some change of history for us. I got to say.
If you had to pick, and they asked you, Sean, Mondo, we need your help. We're gonna get one of these guys. Who do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want Cat? You want Bradley Beal? Did we say who else was? Or Devin Booker? But those are three guys that are going to be on the market most likely. But let's say Beal and Cat definitely. You know, hey, who would you want?
Gotta go Cat.
I think I would agree too. And that would, I mean, it's going to cost you Jared Allen and probably Karras and picks. Sure. But I would do it too. I would do that move. No hesitation. 9 out of 10 times. No hesitation. Yep. No hesitation. I think it would be a better fit too. Because you don't really have to run plays for Carl. You know, he can get a lot of his points just off simple pick and pops. And just getting the rebounds. So with Beal, you gotta have to set screens for him to get open. He's more. You gotta be more creative with him. And you already have. Yeah. You're gonna have Kyrie and you're gonna have Kevin Durant who need the ball. Having three ball dominant guys can that could be a little bit of cause a little bit of an issue. With Cat, and then you don't have to run as many plays for him. He can get 20 and 10 without even trying. He gets 20 and 10 rolling out the bed. He's just doing it for a team that's trash. So, right. But that's if I'm the Nets, I would just wait and just get ready for the off season. Make sure KD's healthy. Make sure Kyrie gets back to 100%. And just look at the market and see if that is the guy from Minnesota available. Because that could take you. That makes you right there with Milwaukee. And then maybe you could beat Milwaukee, and then Giannis don't want to be there no more, and then he says, you know what, I'm taking my talents to New York. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to stay positive. No. You're trying to stay positive. Maybe he gets frustrated in Milwaukee with losing, and he's like, "Yo, let me go build my own team in New York and have some battles." But that's that's a wishful thinking, of course. But yeah, that's They can go both ways. They can do little pieces and get guys that are going to be glue pieces for KD and Kyrie, or they could just be like, yo, let's just go big. That's going to be the decision they have to make.
Yeah, and with talent like those two, time isn't really on your side. So.
Yeah, that's another thing, because Kyrie's in his late 20s, but I feel like I've been watching Kyrie for 20 years, And same thing with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's in year 14? We feel like we've seen his. He's another player that we've seen his whole career. From start to finish. Since Texas. He was a Longhorn. We've seen that whole thing. Kyrie too, since at Duke. But KD's coming off a major injury. So he might not. He's not going to have patience. He's not going to be like, yo, all right, let's. He's going to have influence too. I think he's going to have major influence on this too.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, yo, go big, guys. I don't care about draft picks because honestly, he's right. Why should he care about draft picks and all this? Go big.
He can't.
No, who cares about draft picks at this point? You have a win now team. Starting the next season, you guys, once this season's over, you guys are going to be one of the favorites to win to come out the East. It is win now. Who cares? Who cares about draft picks? Because listen, draft picks are. I mean, there's how many guys actually become all-stars. It doesn't happen. I mean, we've seen guys like Siakam, late first-round picks, become all-stars. So it's it's all about scouting and all that. It takes so much more than just having a top 3 pick, because look at the team in New York. They mess up top 5 picks all the time,
Yeah.
Orlando messes it up all the time too. Or there's certain teams that just they got top 5 pick after top 5 pick and they keep messing it up because it's not about just having a top 5 pick. It's about scouting and making sure you do your homework on these picks. So, but especially if you're in win now mode, who cares?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who cares?
Right.
And you do it now. You go big. You guys have done it right. It's not like you're making a trade like you did with Boston for a bunch of old guys. You got KD in his prime, Kyrie in his prime. I don't care if KD's come off an injury. It doesn't matter.
Right.
He's still KD. You got you got young assets with Jared Allen and you got Spencer. Yeah, you might have to go big and just go after try to win championship.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to do what you got to do as a GM. You really do. And like I said, it's tough, but you gotta be like, hey, listen, we're in a different era now, and it's time to get that ring and get that chip. And you got two guys. You got the 2 guys already now. You know the history. You know the history with the big 3 stars. It's on their side with that.
And you want to crush the hopes of Knicks fans. You want to try to take the city away from them. And what's the best way to do that?
We can get
but what's the best way to do that is winning championships. If you take a championship, you win a championship, you slowly become the focus of the city. That's what gets you, winning. That's all it's about. It's winning. Winning.
Yeah.
It's all that matters is winning. And you win
on the big stage.
On the big stage. You win championships. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's you guys got your guys, and if you're gonna add one more big piece, have a big 3 in New York.
Oh man.
My God, with 3, and not just you have 3 of the top 10, 15 players in the league, man. And that just helps, and that helps KD because you don't have that much pressure on him. Because coming back from an Achilles, he's gonna you can't give him all the he's gonna be it's gonna be a little weird. Achilles is a major injury, so if he can get a cat to help, I don't have to go as hard, and I could there's some games where I could just let him take over.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Especially in the East. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously there's gonna be a crazy trade deadline.
It is. And summer. And one thing about the big major move of adding 3 stars, when that happens, you get all these veterans that are like, yeah, I'll take the minimum just to shoot 3 and play defense to win a championship. You'll be surprised how many people are going to sign with your team because of that.
I mean, look at Miami. I mean, getting guys like Mike Miller and Ray Allen and, it works. If you do it right, it works. Because Miami, the first year, they didn't win a championship. I mean, they got there. They didn't win it, but they got to 4 straight. And they won 2.
Yeah.
You take 2 championships. I know people get, they should have won more. Shit, I'll take 1.
Right, I know. Same.
8 championship.
Same.
Let alone 2.
Right.
But
absolutely.
Hey, that's something that I'm sure Sean and you guys have faith in your GM. I'm sure most Nets fans have. What Sean Marks has done to this point, from what he started with to get where he is now, he's done an absolute. He's done an absolute amazing job.
Yeah.
Tremendous, and it's not shocking because he comes from San Antonio. So he's done. Yeah. He's learned from. From the best. What they got, R.C. Buford over there, right?
Yeah.
R.C. Buford. Pop. They got 2 of the best who've they've drafted from 30s, 30th spot, and hit on guys, second round guys. So, Sean Marks was able to KD and Kyrie to come here, and to get Spencer from Detroit, I think, and make him almost an all-star, and Jared Allen's, I trust him. If I'm a Nets fan, you trust what Marks is doing, and they seem to make the right moves. Unlike that other team that plays in the Garden.
You know what though?
They always frustrate me, Sean. They always frustrate me, Sean. No matter what. I just talked about it on my last show, and it just bottled me up. It just made me want to punch something because it just seems like it just. I hope they make the trade for D'Lo. I feel like the Knicks fans are like, oh, we shouldn't give up this and this. At this point, we have to make moves like this. We have to, because
you do.
What Knicks fans do, and you've seen this, we create this fantasy world where we're going to get this guy, and we're going to get this guy. We're going to get Zion. We're going to get Zion's going to we're going to get to win the lottery, and this and happen. It didn't happen this year, Maybe we win the number one pick this year, but there's no Zion this year, And you see what Zion's doing, and you've seen what Zion has done so far in 5 games, and he looks like he's going to be a star, not a star, a super. He's going to be that next generational player. I think we can agree with that. Yeah, I think he has the potential to be that player.
Here's the good part about Zion, though. Right? You have his best friend already locked in as a Knick, right?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard to recruit him now.
Yeah, but we don't know how RJ's going to feel in a few years. What if we're still, what if they're still a 50-loss team? The RJ could be like, peace, and it'll be Porzingis all over again. Do you want to? Do they want to go through Porzingis? Because the anniversary of the trade was a couple days ago, and obviously it was a big thing. Do you think the Knicks, would you make the move again? And I'm like, hell, if you know what you know. Because obviously they told the Knicks fan base, he doesn't want to be here. But guess what, guys? We create salary cap because they're going to take on Tim Hardaway's deal. So they made it look so good. But we're trading Porzingis, but guys, we're getting rid of Tim Hardaway's terrible contract. They set you guys up. Courtney Lee's contract, 2 years left. We're getting rid of salary cap. And guess what that means, guys? Guess who's a free agent? Because a couple guys are free agents. So they gave us that, okay, all right, losing Porzingis sucks, and I wanted, but okay. If that means that we're going to get, all right, so we get hyped, we get excited, and then guess what? We ain't getting nothing. We got 4 power forwards. We spent all that money. We got 4 power forwards. And we could have got D'Lo. We could have. Everyone's saying, oh, no, we can't because it was a sign trade. No. They would have renounced them. The Nets would have renounced them. Okay, we would have matched it. The Nets were not matching any deal D'Angelo Russell was going to sign with a team. Okay, so let's make that clear. So what they would have done, they would have renounced him, and he would have been unrestricted. They were not going to waste salary because why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. You're going after if you're getting Kyrie and KD, you're not gonna match any deal because then that kills your salary cap. They wouldn't do that. Stupid. So they would have renounced him. Even if he goes to the Knicks, like, all right, they goes to the Knicks, whatever. We're getting KD and Kyrie. I don't think we care if he goes to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Huh? So all these people are like, oh, it was a sign and trade. No, it was only a sign and trade because because of KD coming here. So they just made a deal with them because it's like, all right, let him go there and get his max.
Yeah.
But if he wanted to go to the Knicks, he could have went to the Knicks because they would have just renounced him and they'd be like, all right, go, get your money, man, and that's it.
And how funny and how smart is the Warriors protecting that pick?
Yes. Smart.
Can you imagine getting KD and then a top 5 pick?
They might have the number 1 pick. That's the thing. They could finish the season. Well, it's definitely top 5. It's definitely going to be a top 5 pick.
But wow, can you imagine if the Nets got KD and a top 5 pick in the draft?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd have been trying.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the big thing was that pick.
Yeah.
That was the most underrated aspect of that sign trade was that pick because they didn't want to get rid of it. They didn't want to do that. That might have messed up a lot of things if that hasn't happened.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they wanted D'Lo. They wanted to see how he'd work with Steph. Obviously, he's been hurt. But that obviously that was big. That was big, you know. But yeah, it's going to be we're going to see what's going to happen with the trade deadline and you know what happened for the rest of the second half of the season. You know, I think your Nets would be good to get that 8th spot. They're looking good. The Knicks are going to lose 65 games, and but Mondo, tremendous to have you on the show, man. Another great show.
Appreciate it, man. It's always a good time talking to you and talking basketball. And you know what? It feels like something's gonna happen this trade deadline. It has that in my gut. I feel like someone's gonna make a move, and we're all gonna be like, wow. Now the dominoes are gonna fall.
I mean, last year, Blake got traded last year, so we could see something.
Yeah. I'm looking forward, and you know, I appreciate you taking the time and giving me a call and asking me to come back. So
no doubt, Mondo. That's Sean Mondello, a.k.a. my man Mondo. Congratulations on the wedding, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on that, and we're gonna have you on soon. We'll have you on soon. And appreciate you be on the show. Yes, appreciate you be on the show. And guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.